Hello folks, it's the Pace Chaser again. Welcome to another one of my videos. This is another one of the book reviews that I do from time to time, and we're looking at another book by Stuart, Emmett, and published by Stenlake Publishing. This one in 2018 it was published. Previously did the book about Phillips of Shipton Thorpe from the same author. Just like to make clear that I have no link to either Stenlake Publishing or Stuart Emmett. I've just happened to buy a few of the books that he's done for the publisher because they cover my area of interest in North Yorkshire and East Yorkshire. And today we're looking at the book York Pullman 1926 to 1985. As I said, published in 2018 and still available at the time I'm doing this video in April 2024. Still available to buy new from various places. We'll come to that in a bit. So what do you get? Well, you get a landscape format 48 page softback book with lovely glossy covers. As you can see, there's a bit of a map inside the front cover as to the area that York Pullman used to run in. It's the original York Pullman company, they set up in 1926, not the one that exists today that's now part of First Bus. It's the original company. As I say, it was formed in 1926 by Norman Pearce and Hartus Foxton. Norman Pearce left in 1930 and Hartus Foxton ran it on his own for 30 years until his death in 1960, and then the Foxton family ran it from then on to 1985 when it was sold to the owners of another local coach firm, Reynard Coaches, and that's the significance of the dates of this book. It covers it from its inception in 1926 up to the sale to Reynard Coaches in 1985. So the book starts with a quick introduction to York and the area that the company ran in, a brief company history. It does manage to be both brief and detailed. And then we get into the photographs, which are a mixture of monochrome and colour, all with captions of York Pullman buses. One thing that struck me about this book was that some real effort has been made to try and get the buses in different locations. They're not all just at the York termini or near the depot. I mean, there are photos of them at the termini in York and around the depot, in the depot itself and in the road outside it. But they're by no means dominating the book. The vehicles are pictured in a variety of locations. There's a bit about the routes that the buses ran on there as well. And then, like I say, we get through to various photographs. So it's a nice little book. It's very good. Obviously, if you're into York buses, it's a book for you. If you're into East Riding or North Riding buses, East Riding and North Riding of Yorkshire, again, it's one for you. But it's also good for any transport historians. Most major towns and cities throughout the UK in the time of regulation of bus services could boast one or more of these kind of independents that had been set up before road licensing came in 1930 and have managed to cling on to some of their routes throughout the licensed period, and they ran into towns and cities. They're often to be found on the edges of the centres. York Pullman were no exception. The termini in places like Merchant Gate for the Stamford Bridge route, you know, it's just on the edge of York city centre. It's quite easy to find if you know where it is, but you know, for the first time you're trying to find it, it can be quite difficult. And a lot of the time, if you're in the actual centre of York, you wouldn't know that York Pullman had ever existed, really. They were just on the edges, but they were very much a part of the city and of the towns and villages around it that they served. I like the fact, as I say, that there's a variety of locations, that they've really made an effort to try and capture the vehicles at work in different places. And it's also good, as well as for transport historians, it does show York and the North Riding and the East Riding of Yorkshire as they were before gentrification, when they were still quite workaday. I mean, York's always been quite touristy, but it was behind the scenes, down the back streets and things, it was a workaday city. There was a good range of local shops and, you know, local people going about the business, and a lot of it's been lost. And one of my favourite photos in the book, if not my favourite one, is this one of Home on Spalding Moor terminus, and it's because of the building in the background basically going to rack and ruin, big hole in the roof. And that's how I remember that the East Riding that I grew up in. Some of the villages were quite workaday. They were working villages, you know, working farms and small holdings and things. And some of the buildings going to rack and ruin. It's all been lost now. As I say, gentrification has taken the character out of a lot of these places, if not all of them. You know, there's carefully manicured gravel drives and things where these buildings were, but it's not the same. The atmosphere's gone, and this book really does recall a lost era and the atmosphere of York and the villages and towns around it. So it's really, really good for that, as a bit of social history as well as a bus history. So I thoroughly recommend it. As I say, I'm doing this review in April 2024. The cover price is $10.95. I've had a quick look. eBay, they were non-available for some reason, but I looked on some various websites. MDS Books have still got it in stock. Waterstones have still got it in stock on their website for the cover price plus postage to get it delivered to you. And I looked on Amazon, it was, I think, £13.58, I think was the cheapest one, including postage. So that's not too bad. It's only, £2 something of postage on top of the actual cover price. So it is available, as I say, from Amazon, Waterstones, MDS, or if you're lucky enough to have a decent transport bookshop near you, or a bookshop that has a good transport section, you might be able to find it there. But it's certainly worth the cover price of $10.95. It's a lovely little book, some great photos, and like I say, a nice little potted history at the start of it. So I thoroughly recommend it. I've also got on my channel a video about York Pullman's depot, the site of it, which I visited in April 2024, so check that out on my channel if you'd like to. There's a bit of a before and after photo as well of it. And like I say, I've previously reviewed another Stenlake book, the one about Phillips of Shipson Thorpe, also by Stuart Emmett, so again, check that video out on my channel. But yeah, thoroughly recommended. As always, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.